Hey, you're listening to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 250. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to continue the arc of the art of deck building. Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
A whole shit ton is going down. We got houses blowing up. We got explosive giveaways to give away and announce. We got people to thank, stories to tell, a really sweet deck to do. But before we get to any of that, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com, your source for all your gaming needs.
Oh, very much so. And update. Update on the booster box situation.
Oh, shit.
It was shipped the same day that I bought it from FusionGamingOnline.com. CCO Fusion 5 promo code saved me 5% off my entire order because I did also order singles from Invasion.
Oh, shit.
With my Modern Horizons, my Modi Ho Ho 2 booster box, as you call it. Modi Ho Ho 2 booster box sitting at the post office.
It's still closed.
Other things have shipped. Altered cards from the Facebook Alter auctions. CCO Pride stickers. Giveaway booster packs, all shipped courtesy of Rebecca, my wife, from a different post office who randomly had my other stuff. Like, she just showed up and she's like, yeah, my other post office is closed. And she's like, oh, yeah, are you from Market Mall? Yeah. What's your mailbox? Oh, I have all your shit, except my fucking booster box. Because it was shipped so quickly from Fusion that it got to the post office before the fire happened.
Oh,
and it's sitting there now, and everything that shipped after, including 2 other Fusion orders that I made for cards to paint.
Oh, no.
Also CCO Fusion 5 promo code. We're all there, and I have them. And I'm currently working my way through the cards that I painted, except I don't have my booster box. So that's the update. That's the Modi Ho Ho 2 or I guess you could just call it Modi Ho Ho because that's 2 hoes, as opposed to Modi Ho is Modern Horizon 1.
Yeah, I like it.
We've got explosive giveaways. We're gonna get to that, but the real story of the week is a fucking exploded house. We'll send the pictures to Joe and he'll put them on screen.
Yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, and you fucking should be, and you should be subscribing because it's awesome, you'll see a picture of a crater that used to be a house that's like 5 blocks away from where I live.
Yes, just like literally like a cartoon. Just the chimney is left.
Yes, it's so cool.
McNutt, we talked about it on the pre-show yesterday, which you should also watch and comment on because you can win free booster packs of real Magic cards.
Yeah.
We were talking about it on the pre-show yesterday. McNutt calls us over in the newsroom and she's like, did you guys see that? Did you guys see that that house exploded? And we were like, no. It's like a window or somebody's living room caught on fire or whatever.
The shingles flew off the roof.
Yeah, no, the house is gone. The pieces of the roof are on the neighbor's roofs.
There's scorch marks on the neighbors' houses and stuff.
Yes, because the house is fucking
exploded.
It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
It exploded into bits.
Yeah. Do you think they use a street sweeper to clean it up? How do they clean that up?
There's like disaster cleanup companies.
DKI. That's a blatant plug for somebody that has a business here in town.
There you go.
There it is. Disaster restoration cleanup. I've listened to that commercial like 8 times a day.
Yeah. Okay, there's the explosive, actual explosion.
The actual explosion story.
Stories to tell. You were playing with a guy who emailed us. Some guy reached out and
Callum.
Callum, yeah. And I thought it was Australian Callum, but it's not.
It's the like, other Canadian Callum.
Not Saskatoon Callum.
Yeah,
Mother ass, I didn't even know Callum was a name until CCO. It's like Callum Cookout Podcast. There's fucking 87 Callums in the nation.
There's all of them here. And this guy's cool, man. I like playing games with this guy. We played Von Doom and Lenny and Callum. And like he's got 43 decks or something, and he doesn't sleeve most of them.
Oh, man.
So he's just raw dogging these decks, and he's
bald eagle, baby.
He's teaching his girlfriend how to play.
I hope he's raw dogging.
This is cool. I hope that don't Google that.
No.
And I hope that this is a hint. I hope that this deck makes it into our email, commandercookout@gmail.com.
Oh, good plug.
Built his girlfriend a deck.
Yeah.
She's into tarot.
Oh.
He built her a deck that when you take out the 22 basic lands that are present in the deck, it's a fully functioning 78 card tarot deck.
Wow.
How fucking cool is that?
That is cool. You know what's even cooler than that? If Callum gets at me and he wants themed altars, one for each tarot card. I've always wanted to do a tarot card altered art deck theme, and you know how I do deck like a like a whole project of cards in a deck. I'm actually working on one for Von Doom right now, where we set out a schedule and we build an altered art deck, like 1 or 2 cards at a time per week, or 1 every 3 weeks, or whatever the schedule is. And a tarot themed deck would be so fucking cool. All the skeletons with their big reapers and the moons and the suns and like the
people with discs and cups and swords.
Yes, that would be so cool.
That'd be neat.
So yeah, if you're into altars, you get at me at CCO Podcast on on the twits, or at CAD Popcast on Twitter, which is a plug for my other show. Plug for your show. Brando does stuff.
Right here on YouTube.
You got smashed.
Destroyed.
We'll put links to both of our solo projects in the little corner of the video. Of course, links are always in the show notes wherever you get CCO Podcast, whether it's on YouTube or not. You got hammered, but you still got some fetch lands that you got to keep, I think, and you buy listed a bunch of it and broke more than even.
I broke more than even on my boxes, but oh my god. Like, I don't like etched foils, and we talked about how I don't like sketch foils or sketch cards in general.
I don't like etched foils either.
And that's what's in the collector packs. It's what you get.
So you spend toppest of tier money, and you get what you said was the 3rd most expensive version of a card, being the etched foil.
Yeah, and I don't think that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, people don't seem to want the etched foil stuff, and that's reflected in the overall value. If you're going to pay top tier price, you should get top tier product, and you're not. And I think that's a real problem.
I think it is too. Good take.
Thank you.
Good take. People, we got a bunch of compliments in YouTube comments and on Twitter about last week's show where we gave our opinions on Maudie Ho Ho.
Maudie Ho Ho.
And there was some discord between you and I on air, and it's natural, and we came to an agreement through or an understanding through discussion. And even if we have differing opinions, we're still friends. Look at that. Fuck.
Yeah.
The internet's a great place.
What the hell is going on?
We would encourage anybody who thinks differently about things, magic or otherwise, to reach out, learn, discuss, and just fucking hear other people's opinions. That's important.
That's how the world gets better.
Yep. Yeah, look at us. Now, speaking of getting better.
Oh, shit.
Speaking of the world getting better, we teased at the top of the show.
We did.
A explosive giveaway. We teased yesterday on the pre-show our biggest giveaway ever. We're sending another picture to Editor Joe that he'll show probably right now. So get over to YouTube and look at the actual, literal fucking pile of secret Lair products that we have to give away for free. Get onto YouTube, get onto Twitter, get onto Facebook, get onto Patreon, whatever social media platform you interact with us on.
Yep.
There'll be posts, probably a few for July and a few for August. It is
because we have enough that we can do a few in July and a few in August.
Yes. This is Summer of Legend, Watsy calls it. Not that they're sponsoring this fucking giveaway.
Yeah, screw them.
Well, I don't know. They give us preview cards, don't they? Regardless.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know
Until we get our Forgotten Realms preview card. None of the previous preview cards mean shit to me. You owe me, Watsy.
We have a pile of secret Lair that we're going to give away. So get onto the social media platforms. It'll probably involve something easy like a tag of a friend, a share, a subscribe on fucking YouTube. It's so easy. Just because people like them when we yell at the people who aren't subscribed. Get on there. Get yourself secret Lairs. We've got foil call times, regular call time ones if you're not into the foil. We've got the Valentine's Day ones. We've got the crushing brutality basic lands.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of them. And the icing on the cake, not only is the CCO Pride rainbow stickers that we've showed off in the past. Maybe Joel put one on the screen if you're watching on YouTube.
CommanderCookout.com/store. You can.
Yes, you can go and buy them.
Yep.
Or, and we would love if people went and bought them because they do really support the content and all of the things that cost money about the show.
And they're cool.
But and they're high quality, which is the most important.
Yes.
We've got more merch that we've never showed off on the show. It's actually reserved for something else. But
And we're not going to show it here either.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
not. You've got to be in the nation. That is Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, Discord, wherever it is that the giveaways are happening. You've got to be in the nation to be able to win, and you'll get something never before seen, and you'll get to show it off. You will be the one that says, hey, at CCO Podcast, at CCO Brando, I got that free, cool, never before seen thing that you guys were talking about. And then you'll show it off, and we'll share it, and we'll retweet your excitement about these little things that we're excited to give away.
Yeah.
That's cool, hey?
It is.
It is cool.
I'm a big fan of that. That's a good idea. I didn't know he was going to do that, but I'm glad that he did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the one thing was that we're giving away was Brando's idea.
Yeah.
And they're super like gilded, shiny.
Oh, yeah, they're very shiny.
They're so cool. They turned out so good.
I was very impressed when I saw them.
Yeah, very much so. So
I think people will like them as well.
watch the social medias. Links to all of the social medias will be anywhere in the show notes that you get the show, even if it's like on some Podbean catcher fucking thing where it's like not YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You'll be able to find it. Get onto the platform. We're doing it on all of our platforms. So if you're not on Twitter, if you're not on Facebook, if you're not a patron, you can still get in. And final thing about the giveaway. If you are a patron, we are doing a Patreon specific one. So if you're thinking about pledging, if you want to give us $1 a show or $87 a show, whatever you want, you can set a limit and you can pledge, and there'll be a Patreon specific giveaway. I don't know which secret layer it'll be yet. Maybe I'll ask you once you see the pile and you can read all the names of them.
I have my glasses on. I am ready to go.
Yes, and we'll pick. Let's be honest. We'll pick the best one for the patrons because the patrons do support us so much and are such a great community on Discord, right?
And to put the little charity
on top of the cherry.
Just the cherry on top. If you have been thinking about following us, but you hem and haw thinking, I don't know if I want those guys all the way in my life. Now is the tipping point. You can win some shit just by seeing our tweets in your fucking stream. So do it.
Yes. Yell at him more about like doing all the other subs and follows and likes and tags and pledges.
Like right now?
Yes.
Go to Patreon and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all that shit and just click subscribe. It costs you nothing. It takes 1 second, and all it's going to do is bring pictures of alligators and cowboy hats and super sweet magic hot takes from your boys.
And altered art cards on Facebook.
And sweet alternative art cards painted by my boy Ryan every Thursday on our Facebook page.
I thought of the best top 5 in 5. Get this. Top 5 in 5. You can watch last week's one was Madi Ho 2.
Madi Ho 2 best pickups. I stand by everything we said in that video.
Yes, there were some good cards. Top 5 in 5. Let us know in the comments if you like this. Top 5 in 5. Brando talking about Magic in wrestling promo cuts. Just Brando takes, but like in the style of an aggressive wrestler. I think that's a good top 5.
What are you signing me up for here,
dude,
man?
you could cut a hot take.
Of course I can.
As a wrestler?
Of course I can.
If that's a top 5 in 5 that you want, I'm sure it's come up on the Discord. I'm sure the patron. Yeah. I'm sure like me and Drake have talked about it. I'm sure. So
we'll do it. If people want to see it, we'll do it. I'm in the sinky chair today. This is terrible.
You're in the sinker. You get the sinker chair?
Yeah, I'm the short one.
Well, we'll switch after we cut the video or whatever.
Okay.
We've got some patrons to thank and
with it.
A pack to give away. What do you want to do first?
Let's give the pack away so we don't forget.
Pack away first.
Yeah.
Go to the pre-show, CCO pre-show on YouTube. Watch it, listen for hints. In the comments of the pre-show, guess the commander for today's show. It's too late for today, but do it next week.
Yes.
You could win a Magic booster pack from the Stinky Onion bag.
Of sacks that we pack and then we crack.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, we pack them into the sack, then we pull them and you crack them because we send them to you.
That's right.
Also in a pack.
Right.
Yes.
All things are true.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, guesser, the winner from last week, we actually just wanted your favorite pulls from Madi Ho. Mm-hmm. Madi Ho Ho. This is Dylan Wood. Dill Wood sent us in what he opened, and I don't remember what it is, but his name came up in the spreadsheet where I copy and paste all the names into, then I pick a random number. Dylan Wood.
Way to go, Dill Wood.
Yes.
Yeah, it's commandercookout@gmail.com. Hook us up with your deets. We'll get you a pack.
We'll pack you. Yeah, don't Google that. Now, patreon.com/CCO Podcast.
People want these nicknames, and I don't know why.
Yes. So our first one we have to tackle. There's an elephant in this room, and bro on Patron says he gets at me on Twitter. I don't want to be that guy, but I didn't get a nickname, and I want one for the Discord or whatever, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh no, shit, right? So I go back all the way back to October, episode 109 or 209, and it was like a week that we did 2. So I had like show notes on one document for 2 shows, and there was multiple patrons that week, and we just missed him because his name was all the way over on the side.
Oh dang!
And it was like an honest miss because I even had it written down. This is Michael Finnemore, and we just missed him more.
We couldn't find him more.
Could not find him more. That sounds like a nickname.
Mickey couldn't find him more?
Mickey doesn't matter more?
Yeah, I mean, it took months and we didn't even notice, so yeah.
Yes, he says, oh, I'm ready, I'll get my crying towel. And I was
Mickey
like,
don't matter no mo.
Mickey don't matter no mo. Mm-hmm. Marty ho ho. Well, that's not very aggressive. Does it need? I guess it doesn't need to be. We don't want to be bullies.
They don't all need to be aggressively aggressive.
Mikey don't matter?
I like Mickey.
Mickey?
Mickey don't matter.
Mickey don't matter. Listen, it reminds me of Mickey James. That's the only thing I think of. She's a wrestler.
Yeah.
And she's like 100.
But she's still good. Weird.
I don't know.
She's pretty good.
Yeah.
She's better than Natalia Neidhart.
Ooh.
Shots fired. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. I want to make a Natalia Neidhart joke about Mikey Finn. I can't think of one off the top of my head, though.
I can't either.
Anyways, you don't need your crying towel. You just don't matter.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that should just be your nickname. If you are on the Discord, if you want to jump on, or if you want to change it on Twitter.
Mickey's crying towel. I like that.
Mickey's crying towel.
But not like crying towel, like crying towel, as if it's a towel that is crying. That's also perfect.
Oh, that's more cartoony. Right up your alley.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess, Michael, sorry we missed you. Use whatever variation of any of the last 2 minutes.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Yes, very much so. Next one. This is an increase, and the following one is an increase, so they're really quick. This is another Michael. Michael Conch.
It's probably like Michael Conch.
Or Ponch.
Or Scronch.
Yeah, Gonch.
Yeah, one of those words.
Yes, some of those are like a not very nice part of your body, and like all of those other things are alternate names for marijuana. So thanks for being here. We very much appreciate everybody. Now, last one, Brian Hansen. That's an increased pledge. Thank you very much.
Like from the Hansen 5?
That's the Jackson 5. Or the Hansen brothers, who aren't the Hansen brothers, that's the Wachowski brothers. And they're not brothers anymore. They're sisters.
What?
I think we got talking about different things.
Where?
That's I'm sure Brian Hansen was an bop joke back in the day.
That sounds sounds like a joke we'd make. Sorry for sticking that in your brain, everybody.
Oh yeah, that's in there all day now.
Oh shit.
Now that that's all out of the way.
Now, all that's out of the way.
Big thank you to the patrons. If you don't want a nickname, Brando will do you a custom token or proxy alter. And I do have all those written down to send to Brando for May and June. He just hadn't done them yet. So, fucking guy.
I sent out a batch of them on, was it yesterday or the day before?
Oh, sure.
Within the last couple of days, a few of them went out.
Sweet.
I apologize for the wait, everybody.
Now, we've got a deck. The art of deck building is the arc. We're back into it.
It's a very provocative
arc. Good play.
Yep.
Play. Now, this is Editor Joe's deck. He does a lot for us, making us look as good as we do on YouTube, so you should be fucking watching, even though we're not in the center of the screen. Sorry, Joe. We've got Alela, Artful Provocateur.
The 2/3 Fairy Warlock for white, blue, black 1. Flying Death Touch Lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. Whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying.
Yes, whenever you cast an artifact, you create a fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good ability.
That's cool, yeah.
That is a very good ass ability. I don't know if a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying is worth a card. Like, that's not a card you'd put in your deck, but I think 2 of them is as powerful as a magic card to attack with, block with, sacrifice, use, right?
Sure.
So I guess we'll see if that's the case. And it's the art of deck building. And so far in the arc, we've kind of tuned up decks, talked about keeping decks fun, casual, how many lands, how many this, how many of that, because it's an art more than it is a science.
That's right.
Today, we're not going to be tuning up this deck as much as we're just going to be talking about how it's...
We're leaning more to art today than science.
Yeah, because the deck is interesting and it does a thing using cards that are not very good, but the commander's good, so it's like, it all jives.
It shows how hard they were pushing brawl decks.
Yeah,
you can play a bunch of shit cards with this one really good card, and all of a sudden the deck is still good.
Yes, and it even plays a bad card that I love from a different combo deck. Cat's out of the bag, I guess. This might be a combo deck. So, I don't know. Should we look at it? Should we do a deck?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
All right, round, we're rocking Alela, Artful Provocateur.
Yep.
We have some custom categories.
Custom caddies?
Custom caddies. We're going to do the custom categories alphabetically.
Oh!
That's how we're doing it this time.
Look at that.
We're going to start with board wipes.
Sure.
Because they're easy. We got a Rift.
Bounce all your opponent's shit for 7. One of the best cards in the format.
And Hour of Reckoning. I like this one.
Yeah, this is a Convoker. Remember, we got those tokens, those fairy tokens. Yep. Convoke is you can tap tokens that help you pay for the mana cost of the spell with Convoke. Either a generic or one of the creature's color that you... it turns your guys into mana dorks.
Yes.
Yeah. Convoke, white, 4, destroy all non-token creatures.
Yeah.
So you tap all your tokens or just pay 7.
You just pay the 7.
Whatever, you're playing Rift for 7.
Yeah.
Or kill all your opponent's stuff but keep all our tokens.
Yeah.
For 7, that's fine. Either way.
It's a pretty solid one.
Cool.
We'll do the draw category.
Yeah, also relatively quick and easy, I think, including some new Mighty Ho cards.
Yeah, this has been updated with the latest grit.
Yes, I like that.
So we have Blue Sun Zenith.
The draw X, or target player draws X, right? Yep. Shuffle it back in.
Coastal Piracy.
Ooh, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, we draw a card. And we will because we got flyers galore.
Esper Sentinel.
This is one of the new Modern Horizon cards.
It is.
This is whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature, we draw a card unless they pay X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power.
So it's kind of like a Ristic Study in white.
Did you crack one of those? Did you crack foils of those?
No.
No?
No.
No, you actually didn't?
I didn't get any.
Oh, that's too bad, because that's
nothing.
like one of the best cards for Commander in the set, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I did crack 5 of? Thought Monitor.
Oh, that's in the deck too.
Yep.
That's affinity for artifacts, and it is an artifact itself. Oh, we should note, Coastal Piracy, card draw, enchantment. So you get a token. Esper Sentinel, card draw, artifact. So you get a token.
Yep.
Thought Monitor, card draw, artifact. Affinity for artifacts, ETBs draw 2 cards flying.
It's a 2/2 for 7. We should also point that out.
Not in this deck. It's a 2/2 for what is probably 3, and it flies, and you draw 2 cards, which is good.
It's all right.
It's a good card.
The Antiquities War.
Oh, it's a saga that lets you look at the top, and then you get cards into your hand, right? And then its third chapter is artifacts you control become 5/5s.
Yep.
That's it. That's fine.
That's okay. Mentor of the Meek.
Of Antiquities War, cool art. Really cool foil.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Mentor of the Meek. Whenever another creature, just a creature, doesn't matter if it's a token or not. ETBs, if it's small. Yeah, if it's small, you pay 1, you draw a card. Is this card still good?
I don't think so. In a deck that you're playing blue, I feel like I know that it costs a lot more, both mana and money, but you could probably play Kindred Discovery here, and then every time you just name Fairy, and every time you play anything, you draw a card.
Yeah, that's 5 drop, but over the course of the game, you're probably going to spend 3 mana for your Mentor, and then if you spend 2 mana to draw cards off of 2 creatures ETBing, that's 5 there, and you've only drawn 2 cards, where Kindred Discovery, you might spend 5 and draw 5 cards for no additional cost. That's what you mean?
Yeah.
I think when we look at some of the other categories, Mentor might become really good because we're going to cast an artifact for free and then get a dude, and we can use that artifact that we just cast to get us a card draw.
But with Kindred Discovery, you don't have to use the artifact. You have the artifact to do something else.
Yeah. It's a toss-up. You know what? The art of deck building. Maybe that's in there because reasons.
Maybe he didn't want to pay $40 for a Kindred Discovery.
Yeah, maybe because fuck you.
Maybe because money is something that he wanted for something else.
Yeah.
Fairy Lords.
Fairy Lords. Here we go. And these aren't Lords. And this is what's cool and interesting about deck building is these are the Lords, but they're not actually Lords because there is only like 1 or 2 Fairy Lords, right? Like Scion of Una?
Yeah, I think that's the only one.
Is +1 and other fairies you control get +1/+1 and have Shroud?
I think, yeah, we're playing it. We can.
No, we're not.
No, yeah, we are. It's in here. It's definitely in here.
I don't know if it's in here.
I bet it's in here.
Well, it's not in this category.
It's not in the Lords category. All That Glitters is the first card.
This is an enchantment, and I think everything in this category is an artifact or an enchantment, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not mistaken.
Enchanted Creature gets +1 for each artifact and enchantment you control.
Neat.
It's going to get big.
We have Cathar's Crusade.
That's an enchantment. Whenever we get a fairy, all our other fairies get bigger.
Yeah.
Ooh, just wait until you see what we're going to do.
Cranioplating.
Oh, it's got black in its cost, but it doesn't matter because Alela's black. +1 for each artifact you control equipment, and you can equip at instant speed.
Dictaste of Heliod.
Yes. Creature you control get +2/+2, and that's an enchantment.
With flash.
Yes.
Ethereal Absolution.
I didn't even know about this card. I did. I just forgot about it. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for 6. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1. Is that worth 6? What else does it do? Read the other part.
You can also play black, white, 2, exile a card from an opponent's graveyard. If it was a creature card, you get a 1/1 white and black flying spirit token.
That's fine.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I'll reanimate my guy. Yeah, no, you won't.
Yeah, no, I'll get a spirit instead.
Yeah, I'll get a spirit. I'll fucking ghost that guy. And then you draw a card off of your mentor if you got an extra mana. Sure.
Yes, you pay 11 and you can definitely get
I love paying 11 to draw one card and get a 1/1. Do you know me?
I like this card a lot in Felidar Retreat. I'm glad to see somebody playing this because I never have found the opportunity to. I'm glad Joe did.
This card's real, man. I don't know why more people aren't playing this. It's Landfall Enchantment for 4, and you choose one. You get a 2/2 cat beast creature token, or you put a +1 on each creature you control and they gain vigilance until end of turn.
That's fucking cool.
+1 counter. Each creature swing in, and they're flying because they're fairies, and they have vigilance.
Super good.
That's a good-ass card.
Gravitational Shift.
Look at that one. Creatures with flying get +2/+0. Creatures without flying, which is your opponent's junky guys, get -2/-0.
I always forget that that's an enchantment.
Yeah, it doesn't look like an enchantment, does it? It looks like a sorcery.
It looks like an instant or sorcery to me.
Yeah, to me too.
But, say la vie. How about Intangible Virtue?
This is a good one too. 2 mana, enchantment, creature tokens get +1 and have vig.
Another piece of new Madi Ho-Ho tech in Nettle Cyst.
Ew. That's a living weapon. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and enchantment you control and equips for 2.
Do the new living weapons create a different type of token than the old one?
No, they create black germs.
Because stuff like Batterskull just created a black germ token.
Yes.
But these new ones create black Phyrexian germs.
I believe that the old living weapons have been errated because germs are now Phyrexian germs. That's been retconned. They just wrote that into history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last card in the section, Spear of Heliod.
Creatures we control get +1, and you can pay white 1, tap, destroy target creature that is dealt damage to us this turn.
Yeah, something that hits us, we can spear it.
Yeah. And it's an artifact and an enchantment, which will get us fairies. So almost everything that we've cast so far in the deck will get us fairies that fly, and we can beat our opponents to death with them.
Let's talk about some Fairy Nobles. And I don't know why this is Fairy Nobles, because it's the ramp section. But here we are.
I don't know either. You like this first card. If you watch CCO's top 5 in 5 right here on YouTube, you can see, and I'll let you read it. You can see Brando gush about Cursed Totem.
Cursed Totem is an artifact for 2. Activated abilities of creatures can't be activated.
Shut off your mana dork. Shut off your tappers. Shut off your commanders. Maybe.
Yep, love that card.
But not ours because that's a triggered ability.
That's right.
Yes.
Cursed Totem is very cool. Guess what I didn't open?
Cursed Totem?
Foil Cursed Totem. Well, I got a bunch of Cursed Totems. They're just regular ones.
Dang.
Oh, I want a foil one, so it's got the cool Mirage watermark in the back. And
Fucking cool. I didn't even notice that.
They're so neat.
They got to keep doing those watermarks on all reprint sets, hey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ethereum Sculptor.
That makes artifacts we cast cost 1 less, as does Foundry Inspector, Joyra's Familiar, Semblance Anvil, kinda. Is that all of them?
Also Starnheim Corsair, that also affects our enchantments.
Oh, makes your enchantments cost less. So we've got a bunch of cost reducers that make our stuff easier to cast.
We have cost reduction in this category, as well as a Smothering Tithe, a Strixhaven Stadium, and an Unwinding Clock.
That's an interesting way to organize this. Having never even play tested the deck or whatever, Strixhaven Stadium is a mana rock, let's call it, right?
Yeah.
And Unwinding Clock lets us untap all artifacts during each other player's turn, so we can maybe put more. What are we doing? Does something give our guys flash that we can bounce and cast during other players' turns?
No.
Okay, let's continue.
Fairy Protectors.
Sure.
I'm going to start off this one with Scion of Una.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang. That gives other fairies Shroud and +1. That's fine.
Then we got Greaves Boots.
Yep.
We all know those.
Spellstutter Sprite, which is a fairy counter spell that has flash. Maybe we could bounce that and then recast that with our mana rocks that we're untapping with Unwinding Clock.
Maybe.
Sure.
Possibly. Fanatical Devotion.
Look at this one, little common from Prophecy. Hey, we've played this card before. This is white 2, Enchanty, which is important. Sacrifice a creature, regenerate target creature. I think that's good. Sacrifice a fairy to regenerate Alela.
It's pretty good, yeah.
That's a gooder.
Fanatical Devotion is a solid card.
You tap your guy to your Convoke, destroy all non-token creatures. You kill your Alela, but you sacrifice one of the tokens you tapped to regenerate your Alela.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's good. And all the other creatures are dead now, except ours.
Into it.
That's a gooder.
Very into it. Saphara Sky's Blade.
This is a cool piece of art, and I think a card that is also cool. It's a 7/7 angel for 7. Flying, lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying have indestructible, which is all of them, by the way.
Yeah.
And you can pay white and tap 4 untapped creatures you control instead of paying Saphara's mana cost.
The creatures have to have flying, but in this deck, spoiler alert, they do.
Yeah, I think that is just going to... Oh, yeah, you got 4/1/1s, not worth a card, remember I said?
Yeah.
Well, 7/7 flying, life-linking, fuck your face off. Right? With a sword.
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie 7? That.
I'll bet you eventually they're going to do a black version of this card, and all the swords that are flying around her are going to be pointed at the angel.
Oh.
That'd be neat.
That would be neat.
Let's just talk about some fairies.
Air quotes, fairies.
Yes, these are cards that get you fairies, and we're going to just go over these real fast.
Also with Madi Ho-Ho upgrades. You'll see it.
Okay.
You'll see it.
We have Arcane Signet, Azorius Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Everflowing Chalice, Demir's Signet, Cold Steel Heart, Felwar Stone, Marble Diamond, Mind Stone, Ornithopter of Paradise, Orzhov Signet, Sky Diamond, Sol Ring, Star Compass, Talisman of Dominance, Talisman of Hierarchy, Talisman of Progress, and Thought Vessel.
Those sound like mana rocks. How many are there?
18.
18 2 or 1 CMC mana rocks. And remember, thus far we've seen at least 4 cost reducers, in so much that we could just cast these for free and make a 1/1.
Yeah.
And there's 18 mana rocks, so probably we're going to power out our commander on turn 3.
Yeah.
Not turn 2, but turn 3.
Or maybe on turn 3, because lots of these come into play fucking tapped.
I was going to ask you. I've seen this rhetoric on the Facebook.
Okay.
Big Magic groups, thousands of people talking. The rhetoric of Josh LaCroix is such that 3 CMC mana rocks are not good enough anymore. We are playing one in Strixhaven Stadium in this deck. Do you think that the enter the battlefield tapped Charcoal Diamond in this deck, for example, is better because it's 2 CMC than something like whatever 3 CMC mana rock?
You know what I saw on Facebook one time?
What was
A
it?
guy saying that the Earth was flat.
Oh, yeah?
You know what that guy was? Fucking wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
That's incorrect.
You know what I saw on Facebook one time?
Tell me.
Some guy's house exploded.
But no, I do not follow that line of thinking.
No.
I just don't. I mean, you can... Sure, it costs less to get your rock out, but you can't use it right away.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, especially now, the 3 CMC rocks are really good.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
And they do lots of stuff besides tap for mana. And in a lot of cases, that one additional mana that you're paying, which kind of pays itself off because you get to use it right away as opposed to a charcoal diamond. I mean,
an enter the battlefield not tapped 3 mana guy.
Yeah.
Taps for 1, so it really only costs 2 and enters the battlefield tapped, but gives you a mana.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, so it's not... I don't see that argument. And these diamonds are fucking trash. They're garbage.
You know what I do like? And this is a little bit of what we talked about before we stopped talking about it so we could have this conversation. Pulling back the curtain. These diamonds, charcoal, sky, and...
White.
Yeah. Pearl? Diamond? I don't fucking know. Whatever it is.
I'll find it.
Marble. There it is. Yeah. Though they're good in this deck because they cost 2 and we could make them cost 0 if we had 2 cost reducers instead of needing an entire another cost reducer.
You know what would be fantastic in this deck instead of these diamonds?
What is it?
Any of the mana rocks that cost fucking 0 by themselves.
Ooh. That would be good.
Because you know what's better than a mana rock that costs 2 or 3? One that costs nothing.
Nothing.
And yes, I know that they cost money.
That was going to be my rhetoric.
But
or my response.
You can just play ones that cost nothing. Like, why isn't there a metal craft Mox in here?
Because that's actually expensive. Like
right?
Mox Opal, Mox...
You can appreciate the... What do you call it? The budget of a deck.
Yes.
Budget consciousness. I appreciate that for sure. But if you're just looking at what's the best way of doing a thing, that's the best way of doing a thing in this deck. Because it makes you be able to do the overarching thing that you want to be able to do without having to have one of the cards. So like it makes your combo cost 1 card less.
While I agree, I ask you this question. I think I know what your answer is going to be, but we're gonna get there organically through actually communicating.
Okay.
Does it need to be the best version of what it is?
Oh, heck no.
There you go.
Heck no. You can always play what you have. You can play what makes you happy, tune to taste, and play group.
And that is part of the art of deck building, is it doesn't need to be an actual science. This card is objectively in every way better than this card. That's the scientific way to do it when you're trying to build the best deck. And there is probably a formula for making the best Alela deck, right? You put in the Mox Diamonds, the Mox Opals, the Lotus Petals, the Mana Crypts, right? Yeah. And if you proxy and your playgroup's fine with that, great. But if you want to do this, and I'll give you an example, when I cracked my box of Commander Legends, I kept one of each of the comes into play tapped diamonds in foil, just in case something like this comes along that I wanted to build that I had foil diamonds.
Huh.
Yeah. Huh. Just in case. I got foils of those fuckers. I'll play them if the opportunity presents itself to kind of spice to taste and your meta, as you say.
Have you had them under a bunch of books to keep them flat?
They're in the good box. They're in the good box, which is the next podcast that we're going to start, the Good Box podcast, where we just talk about what's in our build box.
In our build boxes.
Yeah, let us know if you want to hear that too. By the way,
they're growing. It's a ever changing thing.
Yes,
but yeah, I feel like in here you could have played just other stuff. I think you could get away with playing 3 CMC rocks in this, and it would make the deck, I don't want to say it's going to make it better, but it would give you a few more options, especially if you wanted to go with the turn artifacts into 5/5s. We have the Saga, right?
Yes.
So you could play Replicating Rings. So you just make 13 fucking guys there.
Yeah,
you could play Skyclave Relic and you get 3 more. You know what I mean?
You know what? I am a huge fan of Commander's Sphere, which I think is a very important card for the format because it is, let's call it a 2 mana rock that ETB's tapped and gives you mana, but you can also sacrifice it to draw a card, right? I very much like that card. I very much like Mind Stone, which is in the deck, which kind of does the same thing. It can sack to draw a card. I very much like those 2 cards. And if you're finding that, I never have mana up to cast my Path to Exile or Swords to Plowshares, which are in the deck, what do I do? Well, cut your marble diamond, put in a commander sphere, right? And that'll scientifically give you something to do, right? Because it doesn't ETB tapped. I think that that's worth talking about on the show.
Commander Sphere is also fantastic with the tutors that we're going to get to in a bit, where you tutor something to the top of your deck for 1, because you can tap the Commander Sphere for whatever color you want, play your Mystical Tutor, get your card, sack the Commander Sphere,
draw
get the card into your hand.
And cast it from the mana that you just used the Commander Sphere. Yeah, really good.
I've saved my own ass in my Atraxa deck so many times doing that.
With specifically a Mystical Tutor or an Enlightened Tutor and a Commander's Sphere.
That's right.
Yes. Or gamble. Anyways, let's move on. We talked about the mana rocks. Oh, there's a Tormod's Crypt.
Yep,
that's like the grave hate, right?
That's the whole graveyard hate section.
And it costs 0. Hey, what do you think instead of the 2 CMC, like the marbles or the diamond cycle that's in here? What about like 0 drop equipment, like fucking Bonesaw? Just to get a 0 drop.
In my head, when I conceptualized what I would do if I was going to build this deck, I would make a couple of very small changes in that I would add more 0 drop artifacts of all sorts of types, like Memnites and Ornithopter and stuff. And I'd put in a Cloudstone Curio.
Ooh, baby.
And then just bounce 0 drop things to make Infinity Fairies.
Cloudstone Curio doesn't trigger off artifacts, though.
What?
Yeah, does not.
Oh, that sucks.
Does not. We do have a little something in here that
it does.
That works, but Cloudstone Curio, I don't think it triggers off of tokens either. I don't remember. Joe will have it on the screen.
Yeah, it'll be on the screen. You can tell us if we're.
The question is, do 0 drop cards have a big enough impact? Is the question, right? Some of them don't. Like Bonesaw is not a good card, but it just costs 0.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it depends. In a deck like this, it's getting you a 2/1 flyer as well as whatever it is.
Yeah, and at that point, is it worth a card then, right? It's a Bonesaw and a 2 or a 1/1 flyer, right?
And if you were just playing like Mox Tantalite and Mox Chrome Mox or whatever the hell the Moxes are that you're going to be playing, like, yeah, they're worth a card.
Yeah, because those ones are actually worth mana, which is worth a card.
Yeah, and if you're gonna
Mox Diamond's worth fucking 2 cards. You have to actually discard one, and it's still good.
If you're gonna dump a whole bunch of money into a deck like this, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go, baby. I'm ready.
Let's talk about Ancestral Statue.
Baby. This is my boy. This is a 4-drop golem artifact creature 3/4. When it ETBs, return a non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand.
And what do you return, Ryan?
Itself.
Why would you do that, Ryan?
So you can cast it again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. If you've got your cost reducers. If you have your cost reducers. Right. And or if the deck had your favorite card, Intruder Alarm, and you could untap your Ornithopter in Paradise and just keep making mana to cast your Ancestral Statue.
Ooh.
This is the card that we're playing that costs 4 cents instead of the $40 Cloudstone Curio. That doesn't work with artifacts.
Oh, yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, this is the one.
It's cool.
And Cloudstone Curio is fucking expensive.
Are they?
Yes. Is it a magic card from an old set?
Yeah.
Yes. Does it do something really good that you can combo with?
Yeah.
Do you think it's expensive as a result?
I guess.
Yes. Also, yes.
Damn it. You got me.
Yeah.
You got me again.
Listen to these other hits that Brando's going to read.
I love this. Hercule's Recall.
Return all artifacts target player controls to their hand.
Yeah. Paradoxical Outcome.
Return any number of non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hand. Draw a card for each thing that returned this way. Ooh. Mother ass. We just tap all of our mana rocks, bounce them all to our hand, draw 18 cards, literally just drop them onto the table again because we've got all that mana and cost reducers. Or more cost reducers that we drew.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rebuild.
See, Hercule's Recall, but it's everybody.
and I guess it has cycling also.
Don't care.
Don't even give a shit.
Bounce all the artifacts, literally just put them back onto don't even pick them up. I'm going to bounce all these, and then I'm going to play them again.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, let's talk about some removal.
Sure.
We got Banishing Light.
That's Oblivion Ring.
Conclave Tribunal.
Oblivion Ring with Convoke?
Yep. Detention Sphere.
Oblivion Ring for things that have the same name.
Frogify.
Turn it into a 1/1 frog.
Lawmage's Binding.
That's kind of like Oblivion Ring.
It's What?
It's prison term. No, it detains something.
Yeah.
Fuck, we haven't even said what any of these cards do. Read the next card's name.
Oblivion Ring.
Oh, okay. Oblivion Ring exiles something until Oblivion Ring leaves the battlefield, by and large. We don't have a sack outlet in this deck that can sacrifice Oblivion Ring, so we can't do the trick with it. So it exiles it until it leaves the battlefield. The important part about Oblivion Ring or Frogify or Law Mage's Binding, what have you, is they're enchantments.
So you're going to get a dude when you play him.
Yes, you're going to exile a guy and get a dude.
And then we have Path and Swords.
Path and Sword, yeah. The best fucking removal in the format.
One tutor.
One tutor.
We always say everybody gets one. We're playing Mystical Tutor in this one.
Yeah, and this card is the reason why I think that Commander Sphere should go in the deck as per your example from a few minutes ago.
Why isn't it Enlightened Tutor? Like what's the instant or sorcery that we want?
Probably Hercule's Recall or Accumulated Knowledge or Rift in a pinch.
Fair enough.
Yep.
And that's it?
That's the deck.
That's the whole deck?
Any lands of note, special lands?
I don't think anything.
Hall of Heliod's Generosity, or what is that the right name?
Yeah, it returns an artifact from your graveyard to the top of your library. We have a Buried Ruin to get your artifacts back.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We've got a Arch of Erazka. It draws you cards. We've got a couple of removal things. We've got a Reliquary Tower.
Really
and a
good with
Bog.
your accumulated knowledge.
True that.
Yeah, and Bajuk. Got to have the Bajuk in there, of course.
And other than that, it's what you'd expect.
Yeah, mana fixing lands, the pathways, some dual color lands, etc. Why Sarah's Sanctum, Joe? $350, not a little too rich, I guess.
Maybe you should splash green and then you could Sarah's Sanctum.
Gaia's Cradle, you mean?
No, I mean Sarah's Sanctum because they got that creature that's Sarah's Sanctum now.
You just fucking next leveled me. Like, oh man, Brandon said the wrong card. He was trying to make a joke. No, he next leveled.
I gotcha.
Fuck. Well, yeah, there you go. I like the deck. I like Hercule's Recall. That's a real Magic card. Like in real Magic card formats, like I don't know, Vintage. Right? Yes. So is Accumulated Knowledge, AK they call it.
Yep.
I'm calling it the wrong name. What's the actual name? Accumulated Knowledge is a different card. That's a common card from Prophecy, I think. What's the actual card's name?
Paradoxical Outcome.
Paradoxical Outcome. Yes. Paradoxical Outcome is a real card in Vintage. Accumulated Knowledge is a card in Legacy. And it's like you draw cards for each one that's in your graveyard.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the wrong card name the whole time. Fuck. Only 250 episodes, Ryan.
You'll get there eventually.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get there, kid. You'll get there.
We'll get there. Speaking of getting there, terrible segue. Strengths and weaknesses.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Strengths? You want to start with strengths?
Let's do it. This deck is cool. That's a strength.
This deck is cool. It does something with bad cards that makes them good. The diamonds, that ancestral statue, those are not very good cards. You arrange them about a commander in a certain way with some cost reducers. Maybe you throw in a little intruder alarm.
Yeah.
Some Mox Diamonds.
Now we're talking.
Some Sarah's Sanctums. You got a deck.
You could play a Cloudstone Key in this deck. Is that the one where it comes into play and you pick a card type and it makes your cards cost less?
Oh yeah, that's a cost reducer.
That could be another neat thing to add to the deck, too.
Yes. You could play, and again, this is spice to taste. Right, you could play Helm of Awakening, which makes everybody's stuff cost less. Depends on how powerful the decks around this one are in the meta, right?
It's got a lot of room to move, which I really like.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be winning any CDH games with this thing.
Up and down the power slider is what you mean.
Yeah, but you could definitely tune this deck to play in basically any table you find yourself at.
Yeah, I think that this is, I would say, low to medium power because you are playing some not so good mana production, but like all decks, if you want to add the 1 and 0 mana rocks in, it's going to make your deck faster. It's going to combo a lot more synergistically with your commander when you bounce all of your artifacts and then don't need a cost reducer to put them back down to generate value. You can put in a Phyrexian Altar and then you could probably go infinite with bouncing your ancestral statue a lot easier, right? Like there's so many little things that you can do to tune this deck up, which is a strength.
Yeah, and we'll get to the weakness that comes off of that in a second.
Yes.
But this deck is super consistent too. Sometimes I've been hosed so many times over the last few games. This deck probably does not find itself in a situation where it does not have the mana to play Alela on turn 3 pretty much every game.
Yeah, it's got the 18 2-drop and 1-drop mana rocks, but then it's got the Strixhaven Stadium at 3, and it's got a bunch of other low CMC just action like removal. If you do find yourself off mana, you can just like 2 or 3 mana or 1 mana removal to keep yourself alive into turn 5 or 6 or whatever.
It's got 50 mana sources in it.
Yeah, I think that's good.
That's quite a few.
Okay, couple more strengths real quick. There is, like we said, some control, some staying power.
Yep.
There is a combo kill, right? Just with the Hurkyl's Recall and getting a lot of fairies. The combo kill, air quotes, is actually just like an aggro flyers kill where you just make a whole bunch of guys. What I think is a little bit of a weakness is if you just make a whole bunch of guys, you do have to wait until they can attack next turn.
Yeah.
So flipping over to the weakness, it doesn't have a true, like, really fast, consistent, tutorable combo kill.
Just wreck you.
And it doesn't need that. Like, we're talking about it like it needs it, and it doesn't.
No.
Because it is, like we say, in the mid-tier kind of power level. What's the weakness that you were going to mention?
I think the one that strikes me in this deck is I think that you could find yourself in a situation where you have a ton of mana and nothing to do with it.
Yeah, nothing very powerful or meaningful to do with it, right?
I'll cast Alela again. I'll play this one thing. It's not like you're going to have no cards in your hand, but you're going to have situations where you have tons of mana, and the only thing you can do with it is make more mana.
Yeah, I've got 15 mana past the turn. I've got like 8 white up to cast my Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody attacks me.
Exactly.
And then that's a whole turn cycle with not a whole ton of action.
Yeah. And not that that's terrible, but it is a situation that you would find yourself in. Like, I'd like to see a couple of just big mana payoffs in a deck like this.
I like that. Big mana payoffs and you only need 1 or 2, especially if one of them is like an instant or sorcery. You do have the Blue Sun Zenith that you can find with the Mystical Tutor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need a Torrent of Hellfire or anything like that, but just some X payoffs, just in case.
Yep.
I think that would be cool.
Blightsteel Colossus, maybe. That's an artifact that's going to give you a fairy.
Sure.
And it's going to slap your opponents to fucking bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the last weakness, and it ties into the art of deck building.
Ooh.
Peep this. You're sacrificing, except for Swords and Path, which we're playing, you're sacrificing efficiency, a.k.a. power, for the theme of the deck, which is artifacts and enchantments. And you can do that as much as you want. It's Commander, and it's casual, and it's supposed to be fun and thematic and interesting and varied and unique.
And this is all of that.
You get to a point where how much do I want to sacrifice? Like, do you cut Swords and Path to play 2 more enchantment spells?
You have to play those rattlesnake enchantments that you sack them to kill
Soul
attacking
Snare
creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, Soul Snare. Right? Do you do that? You could, and there would be nothing wrong with that. Or you could keep the best 2 removal spells in the format in the deck because that's what they are.
Yeah, that's what they are, and that's why they're there.
That's the art of deck building. Where does it fit into your meta? Is it worth it to go there? And do you find this deck winning often enough or too often that you want to switch out Swords and Path for a Soul Snare and a Seal of Cleansing, right? That's a disenchant that is an enchantment, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think. And we're asking rhetorical questions because we're like purposely not answering that because we can't tell Joe or anybody who sends a deck in what to do.
Yeah, we can give you some this is what we do.
Yeah.
But we can't tell you what you need to do.
This is what you should be thinking about maybe, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, budget. Budget really quick. $437. Remember, no Sarah Sanctum, no Mox Diamonds, no Lion's Eye Diamonds, right? None of those. No Intruder Alarm.
No Intruder Alarm. Who plays blue and no Intruder Alarm?
Who doesn't play in Bluter Alarm?
Oh, that, yeah.
I didn't even mean to do that.
We should put that on a shirt.
There
that
it
is
is.
awesome.
Budget. 3-color deck. Sorry to anybody who thinks that they're going to get their money out of their fetch lands, and I think that this is a really good sign. We've got 2 fetches in this deck, totaling 51 USD.
Yeah.
Only. That's good, right?
Do
we need them in the deck?
No.
Cut them.
Yeah.
Fucking cut them.
You don't need them.
Rift. $30. I don't know. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you got it, run it.
Yeah.
People who are like, not Rift apologists, but the opposite of that, who say, I don't run Rift because it's too good. If you got it, fucking run it.
If you got it, play it.
Run it.
Yeah.
Smothering Tithe, $32. More than Rift.
Wow, that's a really good card.
Yeah, and Rift's seen a couple reprints.
Yeah.
$32.
Smothering Tide's a good ass card though. I'd keep that one.
You keep it in? I was going to say, we got like 19 mana rocks.
Because it gives
you
you
need Smothering Tithe?
It gives you artifacts for your things with affinity for artifacts and all of your things that make your creatures bigger based on the number of artifacts.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a gooder. You're right. Mystical Tutor. You thought maybe Enlightened Tutor, which is also expensive.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't know. Everybody gets one, I guess.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, or for a very similar price now because of reprints, you could put Demonic Tutor in this slot and just find whatever you want.
Or Vampiric Tutor, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one's like 70, though.
Well, if we're going to
play Tootskis, we might as well toot.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're going to toot, make it worth it.
Yeah, make it fucking stinky. If you know what I got? I got 4 or 5 cuts there, $300 deck. And that does include removing that one tutor. But if you don't, it's like $325.
That's
fine.
I hate saying it, but that's probably the price you're going to pay for creativity and having a functioning deck.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff, like the All That Glitters and like those mana rocks, might be something that you already have if you've opened up Precons and Commander Legends and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's fine.
I agree.
Spice Kelk?
Or instead, should we do card of the week?
Yes, we should.
Okay, what do you got, Ryan?
I've got it this week. And it's not a card of the week. This is cards.
What?
This is the Talismans. And we're playing multiple Talismans. Shout out to one of my favorites, Pristine Talisman. We're not playing it because it's a 3-drop. But new Madi Ho-Ho, Soul Talisman, right? And other hits like Onyx Talisman, Malachite Talisman, Nacri Talisman.
We're not playing any of these cards, man. None of these cards are in the deck.
Hemanite Talisman. All hits, classics from Ice Age, all available at FusionGamingOnline.com.
But none of them are in the deck.
CCO Fusion 5 promo code. In all reality, though, we are playing the 2-drop Talismans that deal damage to you. These are good cards, I think. Everybody seems to be like, oh yeah, 2-drop mana rocks, they give you color. I'll take the 1 damage. Don't you play Pain Lands? These are good cards. And they are all available at a discount. CCO, Fusion 5. If you're going to buy them, if you want the card of the week, you go there. Let Fusion know that your boys, we got your back. 5% discount.
Now should we do the spice calculator?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we could do that. We punch it all in. 4,390 Alela decks on EDHREC.com.
Wait, say that number again?
4,390.
When did you do those show notes, Ryan?
Literally yesterday, and I'm looking at Alela now.
There have been, 19 extra decks in that time.
Mother ass. People must have been getting CCO early. They must have been the patrons that all got the show early.
Probably.
That's one of the benefits.
Definitely. So Alela, Artful Provocateur, head and shoulders the highest ranked Esper commander above Zur the Enchanter, Aloro the Ageless Ascetic, and Aminatu the Fate Shifter.
Also ageless. She doesn't age. She's a planeswalker. She's just a little girl forever.
That suck, because nobody ever take you serious. Like that vampire in Interview with a Vampire. It's like, I'm 1,000, yeah, but you still shop at Oshkosh Bagosh. I'm just not taking you seriously.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah, head and shoulders number 1 Esper Commandy, 2.28 average mana value / converted mana cost.
It's gonna hurt you.
That's a low curve.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much. 1 Tootski, 30 unique cards. These are cards different than the stock Alela page on EDHREC.com.
Mm-hmm.
You punch it all in, you get a spice calculator of 42.5 exactly.
That's actually higher than I thought it was going to be.
It's higher than I thought too, based on so many of the 2-drop mana rocks matching the EDHREC list and so many of the enchantment removal cards.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff. We haven't talked about the Zata effect in quite a while, but Alela has a pretty straightforward way of getting value off of your commander.
Cast your cheap artifacts to make the deck go.
Play your rocks, play your enchantment-based removal, go. And then you put everything else on top of that. And I really thought that just because Joe was leaning so hard on all the rocks and all that stuff to get more fairies, I thought that we would actually see a lower number. So good on you, Joe.
You know what? When I'm counting up all the matches on EDHREC page, we came across Cathar's Crusade, and we were talking about strengths about like the deck not really comboing off or whatever.
Catherine's Crusade.
Yeah, the deck's gonna fucking slap your dick into the dirt.
Yeah.
I combined both of the things that we normally say: slap lips, stomp dinks.
Yep.
It's gonna do it.
And it's gonna slap dinks
Can you imagine you
off your
Hurkles?
face.
Yes, slap dinks right off your face. If you're yes, if you look like Squidward Tentacle from SpongeBob,
Yep.
you're gonna look like fucking not him.
Yeah, not him anymore, man.
If you Hurkles recall with like 8 artifacts on the battlefield, then you immediately play them all again, and you had like 4 fairies already. All your fairies are like 12/12s now, and you're gonna deal 48 damage to somebody. That's enough. That's really good.
Which
actually.
is, and this is true, enough.
So 42.5. I think it's fine. Joe's doing something fun, unique, interesting. He's not overpowering with the mana rocks and the budget. He's not abusing anything by saying, I want Mox Diamond, I want Lotus Petal, I want Lion's Eye Diamond proxies, right? He's not doing any of that, and the deck still looks to be a functioning and fun and interesting Magic the Gathering deck.
I agree. I like that he's doing fairy tribal. He's only playing, what, like 2 fairies?
Yes!
That's pretty cool, man.
Oh man, right in the nation, hey? Fairy tribal. How many fairies you got in your deck? How many creatures you put in a tribal deck? I don't know, 28? Yeah, 2. That sounds like my final thought of the day. I play 2 tribal cards in my tribal deck, as does Editor Joe.
Good on you, Joe.
Yeah, what a guy.
Yeah, good on you, Joe. Thanks for helping us out. Thanks for sending this deck in. For all of you out there that would like to submit a deck for the Arc of the Art of Deck Building, commandercookout@gmail.com is where you do that. We are still taking submissions. We're going to keep doing this for the next little while. Big thanks to FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs. They help us keep the lights on for all of you so that we can keep doing super sweet shows like this. Shows that we are going to announce more giveaways on in the coming weeks. So remember to check out our socials wherever you can follow us to get the details on that coming up. I think it's really exciting, an opportunity for all of you guys to get in, win some really cool shit. And I'm gonna use that as the cherry on top. We're gonna be back with another one of your decks on the next super exciting episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!